ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsy69 and welcome back to the channel. Now, I wasn't going to make this video, but I thought, you know what, I'm on open test. Let me get some footage of these new British Light tanks. I know I did an update 7.0 video, but none of it was actually my footage. It was all Wargaming's footage. And I gave an opinion about the tanks, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a follow-up to that video, because I'm actually playing the tanks on the test server, and at least I can give my opinion on how I think the tanks will be and how they'll play out. So the tier 8 that leads from the Comet is the FV301. Now this pretty much just feels like a tier 8 Comet. It does feel like a tier 8 Comet. The Comet is a lovely tank, and I do feel that I'm going to love this tank. It has that quick rate of fire, 3.9 seconds, 3.2 with adrenaline, I think 3.9 or something like that without. So I love these kind of tanks. I absolutely adore these quick firing tanks. So I do think this is going to be a good tank. I don't think it's going to be broke, and I don't think it's not going to be OP at all. You've got no armor, you've got the speed, you've got the gun depression. So it is going to be a nice tank to drive, fun tank to drive, and it is going to be enjoyable. But it's not going to be OP. It's definitely not going to be OP. Now, one thing I just wanted to add on this with the graphics. Now, on this test server, I am playing with full graphics up, and I am playing with 120 frames per second. Now, this is on my Razer phone 2, which usually handles everything really well. However, I have found that with all these graphics on high and 120 frames per second, it is tiny. Not much, you probably won't see it as much in the replays, but it is a tiny bit glitchy. So I don't think I will play it with 120. I normally play it with 60 frames per second anyway. I don't normally play it with 120 frames per second because I do everything at work normally. It does really drain my battery. So I normally play with the 60 frames per second and all the graphics high, and I have no problem at all playing it like that. So I do think I will go back, because it does put you off a little bit when it is glitchy. But then again, I am going to try it on the main server, because this could just be because it is a test server and it is on an RU server. So it might be because of that. I don't know. So until this comes live, I won't know for sure. But it does look good. It does look good. The graphics look good. I can't really tell with the hit marks. I mean, it's not, you can look and you can see it on this LTTB. I mean, but it's not something you really take notice of in the game. It's not something I've noticed at all on playing on the test server. I haven't shot a tank and thought, oh, look at that hit mark. You don't, I mean, look now, we're going to shoot the lurver, and then we're just going to zoom out and we're not going to look at it anymore. So even though that is a good ad for Wargaming, it's not something that actually changes anything, because you don't see it. And especially with the camouflages, when people have got camouflages. I mean, look, we're shooting this guy. Can you notice the shot that I've just shot? Like, you can't. And again, there, because you're not looking, unless you are sniper mode and just looking at the tank. You're not going to notice. You're not going to notice at all. So that is that, and that is the FV301. It's going to be a very good tank, really enjoyable tank to play. And I think it's around 100,000 XP to get it from the Comet. So you're going to need around 100,000 XP on the Comet to get this, and that is not including the modules. Next up, we have the Vickers Cruisers, the Vickers Cruiser. Now, this tank I do think may be OP. It may be OP. It's a very good tank. The reload is not one of them, just like the other one, the quick firing. 7.9 seconds is pretty respectable, and it does have that 350 alpha. The speed is good. The gun depression is also really good. And it really does feel like a nice tank. The penetration feels quite nice. So it does really feel like a nice tank. The HE is very good. If you run it at calibrated shells, I think you're getting around 110 penetration, which is absolutely lovely. So you will be able to pen. It's no HESH, don't get me wrong, it's no HESH, but it is still that higher alpha. It's kind of like an RU251 or a standard B or anything like that. It's like the HEP whereas just the high penetration HE. So that does come in handy. It does come in handy. You'll still be able to penetrate quite a few heavies from the back, and definitely a few mediums from the side, and most mediums, if not all mediums, from the rear as well. So Vickers Cruiser is very OP. Not very OP, but I think it could be OP. We're going to see this game here. Now, the RU test server matchmaking is very, very random. And you can see now I'm the only tier 9 on my team. And we have got one tank more than the enemy team, and this is what the RU server, the test servers, like all the time. You very rarely get 7 versus 7. There's not enough people on the test server to do that, so sometimes you get a couple of tier 8s against tier 10s. It's completely random. So I'm pretty much the only tier 9 on my team, and I'm going to get top damage. I mean, I don't take this seriously on the test server because it's a test server. It's a test server for a reason. And actually, I try and not come on the test server for too long. I normally try and get my footage and then go off, because it does really annoy me on the test server. You're supposed to be on the test server for a reason, to test new features, test new tanks, and you always get these people driving these tanks. I mean, the Foch. People driving the Sheridan. People driving the VK, as you can see, 215B. Like, there's no reason to play these tanks on a test server. I mean, the test server features new British light tanks, and to be honest, should be one of the only tanks that are being tested. And you can see here the Leopard 1, there's loads, and people tend to use it just to try tanks out that they haven't got. So, but that's why normally I don't tend to stay on the test server for too long, literally just to get my footage and then get out, and I don't go back on it until the next patch. So this tank, I am even just on the test server. I mean, this game here, I'm the only tier 9 on my team, and I'm going to get top damage. The speed is really, really good on the tank. I am enjoying the tank very, very much, and I just can't wait to play this. I might get this tank, I might free XP this tank. I've got enough free XP. On the move accuracy, as you can see on this tank, seems really, really nice as well. And like Wargaming said in their stream, they have the best view range in the game, these new light tanks. So looking forward to this actually when it hits the live server. Can't wait for it. As I've said, I might get it straight away. Not too sure yet, because the tier 8 seems pretty nice as well. So I might try and ace the tier 8 first thing, just get the tier 9 with the free XP after I have aced it. So then brings us to the Vickers Light. Now, I have tested the tank. It's not a bad tank. It's not a bad tank. The turret, I mean, you can actually bounce shots, funny enough, with this tank. It hasn't got the greatest armor, and you will be HE'd, but it can get the troll bounces on the turret. And it's going to be an enjoyable tank. It's different to the Sheridan, and it's completely different to the Batchat. Has the same kind of speeds, but of course, both of the other light tanks are completely different. You have the Sheridan, which has the big alpha, and then you have the Batchat, which has the auto loader, where this is just a standard 7-second reload for the 350 alpha. It has that speed, and again, it has that view range, so you can spot the tanks and then just get the hell out of there if needed. Spot them early, get gone, and then decide then what is the best plan of action to take. Is it best to turn around, or is it best to carry on? So I like that with this tank. I am going to enjoy the tank. I don't think it's going to be a tank that I'm going to enjoy more than a lot of other tanks. I don't think it's going to be a tank that I enjoy more than things like the Batchat. The Sheridan, obviously, I don't know because of the nerf. I haven't played it on the test server. I don't really play it too often now, the Sheridan. But it's going to be a stat. I think it's not OP. It's not OP at all. Not like the tier 9. Definitely not like the tier 9. But I think, it's just going to be a standard tank. There's nothing special about the tank. There's nothing really too bad about the tank. Again, the accuracy is pretty good. On the move accuracy is pretty good. The speed's pretty good. So it's nothing special. It's nothing special. And it kind of feels like maybe the Batchat is really fun. The Sheridan is really fun. I'm trying to think of a tank where in tier for tier, maybe I'm trying to think something like Indian Panzer. It's a good tank, but nothing special. It's nothing special. You can have fun in it. You can do good in it. You can also get wrecked in it, but it's okay. It's okay. And I'm trying to pick out faults for the tank. There's not many faults from with the tank, but there's not many to praises for the tank. I mean, it does, again, it has that that high pen HE. It's not HESH. I do think that if these tanks had HESH, they would definitely be broke. They would definitely be broke. So in a way, I am sad that they don't have the HESH, but I'm kind of happy that they are not OP. Well, this one and the tier 8 one, we'll see with the tier 9. I mean, once the tier 9 hits the live server, I might have completely different views on the tank. But just playing it on the test server, it does seem like the best of the 3 tanks. And this is just again, it used to be, I think it used to be bigger. Wargaming have actually made it smaller because it used to be really, really big when it was being tested. But they have made the tank actually smaller. But in all, I think it's going to be a good update. It's going to be a really, really good update. I love the tracks on the trails. I'm not too keen on the hit markers because I mean, again, we've just shot them out, so you're not going to notice it too much, and it's something that's not really that important after looking. So that is update 7.0. That is the light tanks. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Hope to see you again soon. I'm Meadsy. Please subscribe, become a patron if you can in the description. I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.